Coming up this Saturday afternoon in College Park, 4 o'clock, Maryland plays host to Norfolk State in the first round of the NCAA Tournament. Joining us now, she is the head coach of the Terps, our friend Coach Brenda Frese, back with us now here on GCR. Coach, it's Glenn. It's always great to chat with you. Thank you for taking the time, and congratulations on once again hosting in the NCAA Tournament.
No, thank you so much. It's always the best time of year.
Coach, this has been a strange year, I guess would be the best way to say it, right? We talked back in January, and everything was going great. Then you have a couple of injury issues, and we knew how difficult that stretch of the schedule was. But I was really impressed by the mettle your team showed down the stretch. What did you learn about this group when they were faced with the adversity that they were faced with via injury and some of the setbacks that they took early on in this calendar year?
Yeah, it's some unfortunate timing, and when you talk about injuries and things beyond your control, and as we were getting ready to play 3 top 10 teams, and but a lot of teams, I think the wheels would have fallen off, they might have folded, but what I learned is just how resilient this team is, and when they would have some setbacks, they were really competitive and really wanted to improve and get better. And I think you can see how they were rewarded with their body of work, with being, having the ability to host a top, 16 seed and being able to host here at Xfinity for the NCAA tournament.
How important was that end of the regular season win over Ohio State? As like a statement of, for everything that we've been through, this is what we're still capable of doing.
Yeah, our conference prepares us. We get to play the best of the best every single night. And, really for us, our finish when we went to Indiana on their senior day to be able to go in there, it was a place where, we hadn't won in Cheyenne Sellers' career. So it was great as a senior to be able to get that win for her, and then to be able to come back and have that thrilling overtime win against Ohio State, a top 10 team. Really gave us a lot of confidence, and shows when we're, clicking on all cylinders. And, we have a very small margin for error, I'll say that, where with us being so thin on our roster now, we've got to have everyone show up.
Coach, obviously on the flip side, of course, it didn't go so well in the Big Ten tournament. There were a couple of games that got away from you. Is it as simple as what you just put it out to? Like, if we make mistakes, we don't have the depth to be able to overcome that? Is there a bigger, a connective tissue that you've been able to figure out about when this team is able to play their best basketball and when some of these have gone the wrong way?
Yeah. Like I said, it is a very thin margin. When we went to the Big Ten tournament, we had lost another starter with Sailor Poffenberger, who had went down with a high ankle sprain. So again, makes it even more taxing when you have kids, if they get into early foul trouble in a game, or are limited from a production end. So for us, it's the stars have got to align. We've got to have the most disciplined type of game, and we have to have everyone show up on both ends of the floor. And especially now, everybody can play. Everybody has had very successful seasons, and but fortunately for us, we've had a lot of battles in conference play to prepare us for what lies ahead.
She is Coach Brenda Frese. She's with us here on GCR as they're getting ready for the NCAA tournament. I guess I'd be remiss if I didn't ask where Sailor's at this point going into the tournament.
Yeah, the 2 weeks have been great. She's back practicing for us, and that's a big relief because she stretches the floor for us. She's a dynamic, versatile player that allows us to be able to have depth. That's allowed Cheyenne Sellers through her injury to get a lot stronger through that. She's been impacted through that just you play so many games in season. So this stretch has been really good for us, and hopeful for what lies ahead now in the tournament.
What again, to get this team to play consistently, which is obviously what's going to require to make the run that I know you all want to make. Is there a way to define what it's going to take over the course of the next few weekends in order to get that best version that, as you pointed out, you saw in those Indiana and Ohio State games?
Yeah, well, I love that it's not back-to-back games. I mean, you have a day in
Yeah.
between. I mean, clearly you have to take care of business, and it's one game at a time. You win, you advance. You lose, your season's complete. And so for us, it's staying true to who we are with our identity, being able to defend, rebound, and run. I mean, that's who we've been all season long, and we have to be able to stick to that and be able to execute our game plan.
Kayleen Smykel has been, I mean, just what the doctor ordered, exactly what your program needed. I don't know if there's a better phrase for using it. How critical, as you were going through, losing Bree and, Cheyenne's injury, everything like that, how critical was it to have sort of that steadying force and someone that you could count on night in and night out the way that she was delivering?
Yeah, I mean, I'm so happy for Kayleen, and what an impact she's made coming into our program, being our leading scorer, first team All Big Ten conference honoree, and she's brought so much to the table, not only from a scorer's mentality, but just the ability to be able to defend, be able to really do what anything that's asked of her. She's a tremendous competitor and winner, and she's playing in her first NCAA tournament, and we're really excited to have her with us.
The big minute. I remember we talked at the beginning of the season. I was so excited about the path that Mira McClain had taken to end up back here at Maryland, but you ended up having to rely on her for some real minutes as the season went on. How much of a boost did that end up being?
Yeah, I love that Mira's put her head down and gone to work and stayed the course. And it's a long season. You try to prepare your players that anything can happen. And what I love about Mira is she is always constantly working behind the scenes. And, she's clearly an elite level, athletic rebounder, defender, just a, ferocious competitor. And so, it has been awesome to be able to see, just the impact, the motor. Once we lost Bree McDaniel, you have another player who has a high motor that wants to come in and make an immediate impact.
Coach, the hosting thing, right? Like I say, how big of a deal is it? Like I think that seems like a very obvious question. Everybody would rather be playing games at home, right? But for this program, and particularly, how things. We had talked obviously at the beginning of the year about the fact that last year the tournament it didn't go the way that you all wanted it to go. How much of a relief was it? Excitement? Well, I don't know what the word would be when you got the news that indeed you were going to be a top 4 seed and you were going to have that opportunity to host.
Yeah, gratitude, first of all. I mean, it's our 16th time being able to host in Xfinity, and, where we have the greatest fans in the country. We've been top 10 in attendance all year. It allows you within that bracket, to, within your seating and how teams are placed. You don't have to get on a plane or a bus. And like last year, we had to fly to California, and you get to sleep in your own beds and have your own routine, and then be able to have your family and friends come out to the game. And, we've always drawn well. I think almost, a lot of our reserve seats are almost sold out, and people can come out for, less than a movie and come out and see 2 great games for $20 and be able to send these seniors out the right way.
It's an awesome way to spend a Saturday. There's no question about that. Your opponent, I think a lot of people will look on paper and say, it's Norfolk State, no problem. I don't know that people realize how good this Norfolk State team is that has power conference wins this season and battled with some other teams, including Green Bay, who I know is right there in that mix. And then Diamond Johnson, who, of course, came from NC State and is a really good player. This is probably not – the excitement of being a 4 seed is significant, but this is a pretty tricky 13 seed that you're going up against.
Yeah, it really is, and you see the success that they've had. The winning streak that they're on. To beat 2 SEC teams in the regular season. This is a team that is confident, that's used to winning, that is fearless, and so for us, we respect every opponent that we're going to play, and we're going to have to come out and be ready to play. Diamond Johnson is Player of the Year in our conference for a reason. And nowadays with the transfer portal, you're seeing these senior laden rosters that have so much experience and Power 4 players on the roster. So a team we're not taking lightly, a team we have a lot of respect for, and we've got to come out and put a complete 40 minutes together.
Is that something you have to talk about, or given, this is Maryland basketball, like that, it's just known. Like, you don't have to spend more time, saying, hey, forget about the little number. Like, your players know that if you get into the NCAA tournament, that this is a team that we have to take seriously.
Yeah, they grew up watching the NCAA tournament, and the hosting, the number, the seating in front of your name really doesn't guarantee you anything. You got to go out and you've got to go earn the right to win and to advance.
There's no doubt about that. Coach Brenda Frese, this is obviously, we talk about the standard that you've set here in Maryland. It's a big deal to be playing games. This is the way it's supposed to be. So we're very excited about the fact that you all are at home and getting ready for this Saturday afternoon, 4 o'clock, Maryland and Norfolk State in College Park, and you want to get down to Xfinity Center to support the Terps. Coach, always appreciate you taking the time for us. Best of luck this weekend and moving forward. Thanks for hopping on and spending a couple of minutes with us this morning.
Yeah, always great to be on. Really, really appreciate it, and go Terps.